In the year 1095, Europe was not the center of the world. It was a divided continent. Kings fought each other, and lords struggled for power within their own lands. Violence was an ordinary part of medieval Europe. Knights were trained for war, but most of the time there was no common enemy to fight. The Church tried to control this chaos. But order in Europe was weak. In the East, there was a very different world. Great cities, rich trade routes, powerful states. Cities like Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo were among the most important centers of the world. Between Europe and this world stood only one barrier, the last remnant of the Roman Empire, Byzantium. For centuries, the Byzantine Empire had protected Europe from Eastern invasions. But by the end of the 11th century, this empire was close to collapse. In 1071, at the Battle of Manzikert, the Byzantine army suffered a devastating defeat. Most of Anatolia was lost. A new power had appeared, the Seljuk Turks. They were fast, disciplined, and difficult to stop. Constantinople was no longer safe. Emperor Alexios I had no choice but to ask the West for help. When this request reached Rome, Pope Urban II did not see it as only a military appeal. It was an opportunity to unite Europe. Europe was divided. Knights fought each other. The Church wanted unity. The Pope wanted to strengthen his authority. A campaign to the east could bring Europe together under one purpose. But sending people thousands of kilometers away to fight was not easy. At that time, the Holy Land was of great importance to Christians. The places where Jesus had lived, where he had died, and where he was believed to have risen, were in Jerusalem. For centuries, Europeans had traveled there on pilgrimage. But the road was no longer safe. The advance of the Seljuks had made these journeys dangerous. When Pope Urban stood before the crowd at the Council of Clermont, he did not make only a call to war. He made a call of faith. He spoke of Christians in the East asking for help. And he declared that this war would be fought in the name of God. Then he made a promise. Anyone who joined the expedition would have their sins forgiven. For a medieval Christian, this meant salvation after death. His words created a wave across Europe. Knights prepared. Priests preached. People took the road. Not only soldiers, but peasants, merchants, and monks decided to go east. This movement would become known as the First Crusade. The first to leave were not organized armies. Thousands of people set out without a real plan. Many of them were destroyed by Seljuk forces before even reaching Anatolia. The real Crusader armies came later. Knights from all across Europe gathered in Byzantine lands. Then they entered Anatolia. There, they faced the Seljuk armies. The Crusaders were not always stronger, but their numbers were large, and their belief was unshaken. A long march began. Cities were taken. Fortresses fell. A campaign that lasted years had started. In 1098, the Crusader army reached Antioch. This city was important in Christian history. After a long siege, Antioch fell, but the real goal was still ahead: Jerusalem. In 1099, after a long and bloody march, the Crusaders reached the walls of the Holy City. The siege lasted for weeks. When the city fell, the victory was complete. Jerusalem, for the first time in centuries, was in Christian hands. This victory had a great impact on Europe. For the first time, the continent had united for a single cause. The power of the Church grew stronger than ever, and the struggle between East and West entered a new era. But the Crusades did not end there. New armies would come. New wars would begin. And this conflict would last for centuries. In the East, an empire was collapsing. In the West, a continent was searching for unity. Byzantium had asked for help. The Church had made the call. And for the first time, Europe moved for a single purpose. The Crusades were not just a war. When faith, fear, power, and politics move at the same time, history changes its direction. And everything began in the year 1095 with a call that moved an entire continent. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.